Arcobräu Musa Liesl.
Life is too short to be drinking shitty beer.
Welcome to another edition of Bands, Bikes and Booze Reviews. I have got one here today. From Bavaria, what a shocker. And it is the Arcobräu Musa Liesl. And this is a Helles. And, you know, I've had this before. And it's one of them beers that I tend to buy one of each beer from the online beer retailers. So, for example, well, not just online beer retailers, but most of the time I go beer shopping, I'll only buy one unless I'm buying like a fridge filler or a session beer. I'll only buy one of a particular brand because I do like a bit of variety, even when I'm drinking, unless I'm just, you know, I've got a few mates around or whatever. I'll go and get some Budvar, I'll go and get some Kozul or whatever and knock that back. But this was one of the beers that I bought to originally review. I got it from the House of Trembling Madness. I think either that or Beers of Europe. And it went the way that some beers do. And that is just, I just really fancy a beer, but I just cannot be asked to do a review on it. I just want to drink it. Does that say I've got a problem? Who knows? And who cares even? But this is finally getting done. I mean, that must have been about, oh Christ, that must be about a year ago now. And I can't remember what it tastes like, so here we are. Now, this brewery, I'll give you a little bit of a rundown on the brewery. They've been going since 1567, and they've been owned by the same family for all that amount of time, and they're still independent to this day. However, the original brewery is not what the modern day brewery is. The modern day brewery is an amalgamation of a lot of Bavarian brewers that were taken over by the original brewer. And now what you have is Arcobräu Musa, which, just for your information, Musa is a place in Bavaria, hence the term Musa on this one. I think that's how it's pronounced. I was out last night with quite a few mates actually. There was a gig on. I didn't go to the gig because I had a rehearsal this morning, but there was a gig on last night in Camden Town, and we ended up in a pub. And I met a Flemish mate of mine, Belgian Flemish mate. And he said, I love your beer reviews. He says that I watch all the Belgian ones, me and my missus, and we laugh at your pronunciation of the Belgian beers because we obviously know how to pronounce it. So now I've got a German mate who takes the piss out of my pronunciation, and I've got a Belgian mate who takes the piss out of my pronunciation. So fuck my life. That's what I'm going to say. But anyway, let's just ignore that and just do our very best or try and do my very best pronunciation of this beer. This is the Musa Liesl. And Liesl, quite aptly, now that poor old Liz has passed away. When I say Liz, if you're not familiar, it's Queen Elizabeth II. You know, if you've been living under a rock for the past 60, 70 years, then you'll know that the Queen has passed away, and her name is obviously Elizabeth. And Liesl is the German diminutive term for Elizabeth. I mean, there's so many connotations of Elizabeth. I had an auntie, my mum's aunt, so she'd have been a great aunt. Her name was Elizabeth, but everyone called her Liza. You know, work that one out. But yeah, there's a lot of connotations for that. But this one is Liesl, Musa Liesl, and apparently it comes from a saying that they used to have in the castle brewery. This is like a set up as a castle brewery, and they used to. There was somebody there called Elizabeth, or as they called her, Liesl, and they used to shout out to her, bring us another beer, Liesl, and that's where this got its name from. Now, as I say, this brewery has been going for hundreds of years, but the modern day brewery is an amalgamation of a lot of others. So that's what you've got now, and that really sort of stems from the 1960s. So you can take with a pinch of salt when they say the sort of 1500s. But there you go. They can just trace their lineage back. That's the point I'm trying to make. And that's about it, really. Nice. I'll say a nice label on there. It's got the Wittelbach blue checkered coat of arms. Wittelbach being obviously the ruling family of Bavaria for quite a long time, and their coat of arms was the blue diamond check. And you'll see that on a lot of German beers, and if you're a football fan, you'll see it on the Bayern Munich crest. So it's if you see that on a beer, it's generally a sign that it's going to be good. Anyway, let's get it home. Let's see what's going on. Right, before we get it home, I'll give you a quick rundown. It says a load of stuff in German. Fucking that's helpful, isn't it? Yeah, it's got a load of stuff in German written on the back. This is a Helles. It is a 500ml bottle. It's 5.3%. The ingredients are usual Reinheitsgebot on here, which doesn't mean a fucking thing. Water, barley, malt and hops. What else? Not a great deal. There's no brew sheet on the website or on the bottle, so I can't tell you what hops are in here. I imagine there's some kind of Hallertau speciality hop, but can't tell you for certain. They say that this beer has got body, but not too much, so it's quite drinkable. Well, I'll be the judge of that, and that's why I'm here. So let's get it home and let's see what's going on. Right, so I don't know how good this is going to be, because as I say, I can't remember. And it was about a year ago since I tried this. God, you can smell that from here. That is pungent, noble hop loveliness on there. Now, apparently you can get this in the States as well. So, you may, if you're an American viewer or subscriber, you may have seen this in your local brew shop or somewhere that does German beer. I don't know where. I don't think it's brewed over in the United States. I think they export it. So you may have to pay a little bit. Fucking hell, the aromas coming from this are absolutely massive. And I have to say, they are very nice indeed. And this glass is not looking too clever. Look, you see the bubbles sticking to the side. That is a shocking sight. I'll tell you what, them tightly packed bubbles on there, that's a good sign as well. Oh wow, there is a huge aroma on this. Lovely lemon citrus, that's the first thing that hits you, but then you've got the grass, fresh cut grass and hay-like aromas, and a little touch of spicy black pepper on that as well. That smells really nice indeed, and it looks nice too. Lovely light colour, as a German Helles should. Head has become a little bit more foamy now. The bubbles aren't as tightly packed, but it still looks good. Nice. Let's get it down the hatch. Prost, as they say in Germany. First thing that hits me, the body is very light, as they say. That is definitely the case there. But let's dig in again. That is really nice. That's got all the flavours I would expect in a German Helles. Quite big lemon citrus on that. Fairly sweet lemon citrus with a hint of honey running through that. But there's a ton of hop character on this. Noble hop character with, as I say, what I got in the aroma. Spiciness, the grass, the fresh cut grass, and the hay type flavours all come through on there. And the finish, you do get some malt. It's not as big as some German Helleses that I've tried, i.e. the two benchmarks that I use, the Augustiner and the St. Arcobräu. But it's nice, and I have to say, it is very drinkable. lovely. It's even got a little bit of hop bitterness on there too, which is nice. This is quite heavily hop. I wouldn't say heavily hopped, but the character is leaning to more towards the hoppier side, almost like a Pilsner light, if you can imagine that. I have to say though, it's very nice indeed. This is just at the perfect temperature. They recommend about 6 or 7 degrees, and I haven't got a thermometer. Is it worth me getting a thermometer? I did ask this in another video. Is it worth me getting a thermometer and dipping it in so I've got it at the right temperature? Let's face it, you're not really going to be doing that when you're drinking it, are you? Just, you know, as long as it's cold, you're going to get the flavour, more or less, as long as it's not ice cold. But this is really nice. It's quite heavy on the lemon citrus, which is nice. I do like that in a German beer, and that's definitely there. Nice mouthfeel too. Carbonation is not aggressive, and that is going down very nicely indeed. So I'm going to rein it in a little bit because I had quite a few last night. What was I drinking last night? I had a few Guinnesses. That's like an old friend, that is, Guinness. Still can't beat it on a session. It's really nice. The lagers that they had were terrible on tap. They had Amstel and Heineken and all fucking sorts of stuff, and it was over £6 a pint there. Fucking steep. They should all be wearing masks, them lot that serve them up. They're fucking bandits, but you know, it's what you do. Welcome to London. I don't know how this energy crisis is going to help their overheads. I don't know what they're going to do about the beer prices, but I can see them hitting a lot of pubs. It's going to be fucking bad. But anyway, enough doom and gloom. Let's have some positivity. I'll take one more mouthful, then I'll give you the verdict. Yeah, really nice hop character on this. In fact, I go as far as to say there's more hop character on this than there is that malty liquid bread finish, which is there, but it's not really abundant, but it's still nice. I like that. That's a good one. So, what is the verdict on Arcobräu Mousse Liesl? Well, I had tried this before about a year ago, and I don't remember it standing out as being a great Helles, but drinking it now, it's my first beer of the day. It is approximately 25 to 9 in the evening, and that is a nice one. I wouldn't say it's the best Helles I've tried, but it's good. It's not doing anything wrong. If there's any criticism whatsoever, I think it possibly could have had a little bit more malty character, more of the liquid bread finish, a longer lasting finish on it, but it's still good. I like it. If you're a fan of the hoppier side of German Helleses, then you're going to love that one, because as I say, it's airing towards the hoppier side of Helleses, in the same vein that the Schönraumer Helles, which for me is in that kind of category. That is the benchmark for them, because I don't think I've had a hoppier Helles than the Schönraumer one. It's really nice, and as I say, if you really want to try and get that noble hop character into your psyche if you're comparing beers, then try the Schönraumer Helles, because that is really going to give you what noble hop character is, without the interference of the malt. Same with the Pilsners as well that they do. Schönraumer Pils, very, very bitter, very, very big on the Pilsner bitterness that you get certainly from Czech Pilsners, and I would wager that there's potentially Sarts hops in them, because it really does have a Czech Pilsner character to it, I should say. But this stuff, it's their flagship beer, and it isn't a bad one, I have to say. It is not bad. It's doing nothing wrong, and it's doing everything I would expect from a German, or should I say Bavarian Helles. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10, and I know it sounds like a cop out, because I'll give it all Bavarian Helles 8 out of 10. It doesn't quite come up to the standards of Augustiner or St. Gilgenboy, but It's good. It's one of them ones. It's like an old dependable. I'll get you the price if I can find it in this fucking mess of a room. Hang on. Wait a minute. This may take some time because there's all kinds of shit all around here. Am I not going to be able to do that? One sec. I can't find the price list. I think Percy must have eaten it. You know what he's like? He's a fucking nightmare when it comes to stuff like that. Stuff that I need, he will find a way of hiding or eating it. But I did look it up and it is $2.99. So I think that's probably a little bit steep because there are better beers out there. The Augustiner Helles is cheaper than that. The St. Arcobräu Helles is cheaper than that. So I don't know. I think if you're going to spend $2.99 on that, if you're going to buy stuff from the House of Trembling Madness, then there's better out there. So do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give it a 7.5 because I didn't realise it was almost £3. I think there's better beer for cheaper from Bavaria out there. So I think, yeah, it's going to be 7.5. Just, I'm going to knock a half mark off for the price, but it's still good. Don't get me wrong. There's no, when I knock a mark off for the price, it has no reflection on the flavour. It's still a good beer. I just think if you're going to be charging that much, it's got to be something special. And to be honest, it's good, but it's not that special, if you know what I mean. But there you go. That's my take on the Arcobräu Musa Liesl. And remember, beer is working class champagne.